Look at your hands. Look at your calendar. Look at the bags under your eyes in the mirror this morning. You are exhausted. You are drained. And yet you are exactly where you were a year ago. Why? Because you were raised on a lie, a beautiful, noble, poisonous lie. From the moment you could walk, they told you that if you just kept your head down, if you just grinded harder, if you just suffered a little more, the world would hand you a crown. They lied. The world does not reward those who carry the heaviest stones. It rewards the one who owns the quarry. The hardest workers in history were not the kings. They were the slaves. They were the ones who built the pyramids, not the ones who were buried in them. And right now, you are building a monument to someone else's glory with your own sweat. You feel it, don't you? That silent rage, that feeling that the game is rigged. It is. But Niccolò Machiavelli knew how to rig it back. He knew that power is not generated by friction. It is generated by leverage. Stop working. Start listening. Because everything you think is a virtue is actually a cage. We are going to dismantle the cult of effort. We are going to perform a psychological autopsy on your work ethic. I am going to show you why your ambition is being weaponized against you. I will show you the difference between the beast of burden and the architect. Most men die tired, holding a shovel, waiting for a thank you that never comes. But there is a different path, a colder path, a path where you do less and control more, where you stop bleeding for pennies and start positioning for power. But to walk this path, you have to be willing to kill the part of you that begs for approval. You have to be willing to be seen as lazy by the ignorant so you can be feared as a strategist by the elite. The switch is in your mind, and once you flip it, you will never look at a hard day's work the same way again. Let's begin with the brutal reality of your energy. Society has convinced you that your energy is cheap, that it is a renewable resource you should pour out freely upon the altar of your job, your relationships, your side hustles. They tell you to leave it all on the field. But who owns the field? When you leave it all on the field, you go home with nothing. You go home empty, a shell. You have nothing left for your own mind, nothing left to plot your escape, nothing left to observe the terrain. This is not an accident. This is design. A tired man is a safe man. A tired population does not revolt. They do not question the interest rates. They do not question the laws. They do not look at the hierarchy and ask, why am I at the bottom? They are too busy trying to survive the weak. Machiavelli understood that the prince, the ruler, must maintain a reserve of force. If the prince is exhausted, he makes mistakes. If he's frantic, he is predictable. Think about the most powerful person you know, or the wealthiest. Are they rushing? Are they sweating? Are they panicked about a deadline? No. They move slowly. They speak softly. They have leisure. Leisure is not a luxury. Leisure is a weapon. It is in the quiet moments that strategy is born. When you are grinding, your head is down. You are looking at the dirt. You cannot see the knife coming for your back. You cannot see the opportunity on the horizon. The hustle culture that you see on social media, it is propaganda. It is the gladiator convincing the other gladiators that dying in the arena is glorious. It keeps the show running for the emperor. You must hoard your energy like gold. Every ounce of effort you spend must have a calculated return on investment. If you are working hard just to maintain, you are not working. You are being farmed. Hard work without leverage is just a slow form of suicide. Why do you feel guilty when you sit still? Answer that. Why does a Sunday afternoon of doing nothing feel like a crime? Because you have been indoctrinated into a morality that equates suffering with goodness. You believe that if it hurts, it must be working. You believe that if you are sacrificing your sleep, your health, and your sanity, you are being noble. This is the slave morality. In the ancient world and in the Renaissance that Machiavelli observed, labor was not a status symbol. It was a necessity for those who had no power. The elite did not brag about how many hours they worked. They bragged about their patronage, their influence, their ability to move armies with a signature. But today, We have inverted this. We have CEOs waking up at 3 a.m. to prove they want it more. We have influencers posting photos of 4 drips because they worked themselves into the hospital. It is a sickness. You are treating your body like a rental car that you don't have to return. Machiavelli would look at this and laugh. He would call it the height of folly. To destroy the only instrument you have, your mind and body, for the sake of optics. Pain is not a credential. Suffering is not a currency. You cannot go to the bank and deposit your burnout. You must detach your self-worth from your struggle. You are not valuable because you suffer. You are valuable because of what you control. The system loves a martyr. It loves the employee who stays late without asking for overtime. It loves the partner who gives everything and asks for nothing. It consumes them, digests them, and excretes them, and then it replaces them. Understand this: you are replaceable. If you died of a heart attack at your desk today, your job would be posted online before your obituary. The machinery does not mourn the cog, it simply finds a new one. So why are you dying for it? Here is a ruthless lesson from the shadows. If you are too good at the dirty work, you will never be allowed to stop doing it. Competence is a trap. When you show the world that you can handle a heavy load, do you know what the world does? It hands you a heavier load. It says, look how strong he is, he can take more, and because you crave validation, because you want to be a good person, you take it. You say yes. You carry the weight of your incompetent boss, your lazy colleagues, your chaotic family. You become the pack mule. Machiavelli advised the prince to let others do the unpopular tasks, to let others get their hands dirty. This is often interpreted as cruelty, but it is actually efficiency. You must learn the art of strategic incompetence. There are things you should not be good at. There are tasks you should refuse to master, because once you master them, they become your destiny. If you are the best at fixing the printer, you will be the printer fixer for life. If you are the best at soothing the boss ego, you will be the emotional tampon for life. You must frame your skills around high-leverage activities, strategy, decision-making, connection. Let the others race to be the fastest typist or the quickest responder to emails. Let them win the prize of being the most useful tool in the shed. Tools are used, they are worn down, and then they are discarded. You want to be the hand that holds the tool. This requires a level of arrogance that will make you uncomfortable. You have to look at a task and say, this is beneath me. Not out of pettiness, but out of an understanding of your own value. If you value your time at 0, the world will value it at 0. Stop volunteering for exhaustion. Stop raising your hand to solve problems that do not pay you in power. Silence is often the best refusal. When a new burden is presented to the room, notice who speaks first. The anxious ones, the ones who need to please. Stay silent. Let the weight fall on someone else. Machiavelli's most famous analogy, the lion and the fox. The lion is pure force. It terrifies the wolves. It smashes through obstacles. It is the embodiment of hard work. It roars. It fights. It bleeds. The fox is different. The fox is weak physically. It cannot fight the wolf. But the fox knows where the traps are. The fox can navigate the landscape without being seen. Hard work is the lion. It is trying to solve every problem with brute force. It is running headfirst into the wall, hoping the wall breaks before your skull does. But the world is run by foxes. The fox does not break the wall. The fox finds the door, or the fox convinces someone else to break the wall for him. You have been trying to be a lion in a world of traps. You are roaring, announcing your grind, showing your strength, and you are getting caught in snares you didn't even see coming. Snares of office politics, snares of market shifts, snares of false promises. You need to become the fox. The fox is observant. The fox is patient. The fox understands that the straight line is rarely the best path. Instead of working harder to get a promotion, the fox networks with the person who decides the promotion. Instead of trying to outproduce the competition, the fox changes the narrative of what quality means. This is what I mean by the scam. The scam is the belief that output equals outcome, that if you output 100 units of effort, you get 100 units of reward. This is false. In the real world, you can output 100 units of effort and get 0 reward if your direction is wrong. Or you can output 1 unit of effort, a single phone call, a single decision, a single signature, and get 1,000 units of reward. This is leverage. Leverage is the separation of effort from result. The goal of your life should be to detach your income and your power from your physical presence and your physical pain. As long as you are paid for your pain, you are a prostitute of the system. I want you to be the pimp. Let's go deeper into the psychology. Why are you addicted to being busy? Because silence is terrifying. When you stop moving, you have to think, you have to feel, you have to look at the life you have built and ask, is this it? Busyness is an anesthetic. It numbs the existential dread. If you're running at 100 miles per hour, you don't have time to realize you're running in a circle. We wear our stress like a uniform. I'm so swamped, I'm slammed, I'm drowning. We say these things with a hidden pride. We are signaling to the tribe, look at me. I am important, I am needed. But being needed is not the same as being powerful. The janitor is needed, the server is needed, the bus driver is needed. If they stop, the system halts, but they are not powerful. The owner can disappear for a month and the business grows. That is power. You must break the addiction to motion. Machiavelli spent years in exile. He was stripped of his position, tortured and sent to his farm. He was not busy in the modern sense. He sat in his study. He read history. He thought. And in that stillness he wrote The Prince, a book that has shaped the minds of emperors, presidents, and CEOs for 500 years. His greatest work came from his stillness, not his frantic activity. If he'd been busy plowing the fields all day, trying to be a hard worker, we would not know his name. You are burying your genius under a mountain of emails. You are drowning your potential in a sea of to-do lists. You need to ruthlessly eliminate the noise. Do less, but do it with lethal intent. A sniper takes 1 shot, a machine gunner fires thousands. Who is more feared? The one who cannot be seen, who waits, and who does not miss. Be the sniper. Imagine a skyscraper. Hundreds of men are hanging off the steel beams. They are welding, riveting, sweating, risking their lives. They are the builders. They are working hard. On the ground, or perhaps in an office miles away, is one man looking at a blueprint. He is not sweating, he is not bleeding, he is holding a pen. He is the architect. The builders are paid by the hour. The architect is paid by the value of the structure. When the building is finished, the builders are fired. They must go find another building to bleed on. The architect's name goes on the plaque. The scam of hard work is the lie that tells you that if you build enough, you will eventually become the architect. You won't. You do not promote your way from carrying bricks to designing cities. They are different categories entirely. They require different mindsets. To become the architect, you must stop identifying with the labor. You must stop taking pride in how heavy the brick is. You must start thinking about the design. What is the design of your life? Are you just laying bricks that someone else handed you, or do you have a blueprint? Most people are living by default. They are following the script handed to them by their parents, their teachers, their culture. Go to school, get a job, buy a house, retire, die. That is a blueprint for a worker bee, not a human being. The architect questions the design. The architect asks, why are we building this wall? Does it need to be here? The architect manipulates the materials. Machiavelli teaches us that people are materials, events are materials, emotions are materials. A master strategist takes the chaos of the world and arranges it into a structure that benefits him. He does not complain that the bricks are heavy. He hires a crane. You need to find your crane. What is the leverage you are missing? Is it technology? Is it capital? Is it a network? Is it a specific knowledge? Find the lever. Stop trying to lift the world with your back. Here is a dark truth about human nature. We do not value what is given freely. If you give your hard work freely, if you are always available, always reliable, always on, your value drops. Inflation. When there is too much of something, it becomes cheap. When there is too much of you, you become cheap. Machiavelli advised the prince to keep the people dependent, but not to give them everything at once. Benefits should be granted, little by little, so that they may be better enjoyed. You must learn the power of withholding. Withhold your availability. Withhold your immediate reaction. Withhold your full effort until the moment it matters most. This creates mystery. This creates scarcity. When the person who usually works 12 hours a day suddenly leaves at 5 p.m. without saying a word, the office panics. What's wrong? Is he leaving? Is he angry? Suddenly they are thinking about you. Suddenly they realize they need you. You have reclaimed power through absence. But if you just stay at your desk grinding away, predictable as a clock, they forget you are there. You become furniture. Hard work makes you invisible. Strategic absence makes you a legend. You must create a gap between what you can do and what you do. That gap is where your power lives. If you show them your full capacity, they will expect it every day, and then they will demand more. Never show your full hand. Never show your full strength. Always keep a reserve. This is not laziness. This is containment. A dam holds back the river. That is why it generates power. If the dam breaks and the water flows freely, the power is gone. It's just a flood. It causes damage and then it drains away. Be the dam. Hold your energy. Let it build pressure and only release it when it turns the turbine that lights your city. The hardest chain to break is the one you forged yourself. The chain of pride. You are proud of your struggle. You look at the rich, the lucky, the easy living, and you sneer. You say they don't know what real work is. You use your suffering to feel superior to them. This is a coping mechanism. It is a defense mechanism to protect your ego from the painful truth. They are winning and you are losing. Your moral superiority is the consolation prize for the defeated. Do you think the elite care that you think you are better than them? They do not think about you at all. While you are judging them, they are buying your company. While you are taking pride in your calluses, they are buying lotions that cost more than your car. Drop the judgment. It is heavy. It is slowing you down. Admit that you want an easier life. Admit that you want power. Admit that you want resources without having to break your back for them. There is no shame in wanting ease. The universe follows the path of least resistance. Water flows downhill. Electricity takes the shortest circuit. Why are you trying to defy the laws of physics? Why are you trying to swim upstream? Machiavelli was a realist. He looked at the world as it is, not as it should be. As it is, the world rewards cunning, timing, and leverage. It punishes blind obedience and excessive labor. You can scream at the sky. You can say it isn't fair. You can cling to your moral high ground while you sink into poverty. Or you can accept the rules of the game and start playing to win. The game does not care about your feelings. The scoreboard does not ask how much you sweated. It only asks, did you win? So, how do you escape? You cannot just quit your job tomorrow. That is reckless. That is the lion acting without the fox. You escape by shifting your allegiance. Right now, your allegiance is to the employer, to the system, to the image of the good worker. Shift your allegiance to yourself. You become a double agent. You still go to work. You still perform the tasks, but you are no longer emotionally invested. You are undercover. You do what is required to maintain your cover and not announce more. You conserve your energy. You observe the power dynamics. You learn how the money flows. You learn who holds the keys. You steal knowledge. Every day at your job is a paid education. If you are just working, you are missing the point. You should be studying. How is this business run? How do they acquire customers? How do they manipulate perception? Take their blueprints. And in the hours that you reclaim because you are no longer volunteering for burnout, you build your own exit. You build your leverage. Maybe it's an investment. Maybe it's a side business. Maybe it's a network of powerful allies. You build the ladder in the dark. And one day, when the ladder is finished, you do not ask for permission to leave. You simply climb over the wall. This is the Machiavellian way. No drama, no grand announcements, just a quiet, ruthless transition from servant to master. You stop waiting for them to give you a raise. You give yourself a raise by owning the asset. But this requires patience. The hard work scam relies on your impatience. It relies on your need for immediate feedback. A paycheck every 2 weeks, a good job from the boss. The strategist plays the long game. The strategist is willing to look like a failure in the short term to become a king in the long term. Can you handle the silence? Can you handle the lack of applause while you build in the dark? Most can't. That's why they return to the cage. The cage has food. The cage has company. The cage is safe. The wild is empty. The wild is cold, but the wild is free. You have spent your life aiming at the wrong target. You thought the target was success via effort. The target is sovereignty via leverage. Hard work is a tool. It is a hammer. You do not worship the hammer. You use it when you need to drive a nail and then you put it down. If you carry the hammer everywhere, you just look like a fool looking for something to break. Put the hammer down. Look at the blueprint. The world is shifting. The old contracts are burning. The era of the loyal worker is dead. We are entering the era of the sovereign individual. The ones who will survive are not the ones who can type the fastest or lift the heaviest box. The machines will do that. The AI will do that. The ones who will survive are the ones who can think. The ones who can perceive reality without the filter of fear. The ones who can direct energy rather than just supplying it. You are now awake to the scam. You see the strings. You see the puppet masters. The anger you felt at the beginning of this video, do not let it go, but do not use it to scream. Use it to fuel your engine. Cold anger, calculated rage. Let it drive you to study, to plot, to build. You are done being a beast of burden. You are ready to become the architect. But be warned, the moment you stop grinding, the moment you step back to think, the system will attack you. It will try to make you feel guilty. It will try to make you feel lazy. It will try to pull you back into the rhythm of the machine. This is the final test. If you can withstand the pressure to conform, if you can stand in the stillness without breaking, you will see things others cannot see. You will see the path to the throne. But seeing the path and walking it are two different things. Walking it requires a different set of weapons. Weapons that are not taught in school. Weapons that are kept hidden for a reason, because if everyone had them, the pyramid would collapse. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.